APIs specifically, I'm a bit of a believer that you always start with the problem. I don't like to start with the solution. There's a saying, a problem well defined is a problem half solved. I'm a big believer in that personally in my life as well as in business. So I'm going to share a bit about the problem, just 3 slides, and then we're going to look at 3 use cases for APIs and technology. Let's just start with this. If I'm using APIs, what is it I'm trying to do? What's the bank trying to accomplish? And I'm not going to use technology words. I'm going to use banker words. As a matter of fact, I'll use banks. So here's what a banker, a CEO, tells me or us when we get a chance to meet with them. They say, look, the world has changed, consumer and technology and the pressure we're under, and we need to rethink the bank, reinvent the bank, transform the bank. I'm guessing some of you in the room have CEOs that have decks that start with words that are similar to that. And the idea of reinventing the bank is pretty straightforward. It says, how can I start to use technology in order to change the experience for my customer and the efficiency for the institution? If you asked me what this word digital transformation means, which we've seen throughout the event and on stands, you've seen it on slides, I think at the core it's about 2 things, experience and efficiency. And if you provide a solution to your customer that helps improve both those things, your customer, the bank's customer, you win. At least I don't know what your measures are, but I don't know how you lose. And I'll say it this way as well. If we use open APIs and all this technology and we combine it into something that doesn't deliver a better experience, which is the new brand, right? People expect that better experience, and doesn't improve efficiency, then we lose. That's the measuring stick. And I use an example from an institution, a CEO telling that story, and I kind of highlighted the words here. I'll use another from the Middle East and Africa market, Nedbank. They use those exact same words. How can I use technology to improve the experience and the efficiency? And I'd like to share 3 examples around it that leverage APIs. I don't have technology architectures. I'm not a technology guy, but I am a consumer. And I think everyone in this room is a consumer. And one of the best things we as a banking industry can start to do is stop just looking at how banks reshape experiences and start thinking about how all industries reshape experiences. You know, the last best experience your customer had shapes what they expect you as a bank to offer. So let's look at a couple of those experiences where the foundation is APIs. Let's start to think about it. APIs let me connect things that in the past I simply could not have. Too expensive, the architectures were monolithic, you know all the reasons. APIs open the opportunity to connect things that in the past we wouldn't have connected. Well, what could that experience look like? Let's start with one that is here in Dubai. I don't know how many of you have done this yet. If you are, you're hip. One of the things people are starting to do is rent scooters. You can go in Dubai and there's this company called Lime, L-I-M-E, and they place scooters all around Dubai. And you can actually rent that scooter using your mobile phone. So think of the APIs involved with something like that. I take my mobile phone, I'll search for mine. I have my mobile phone. I now need to connect it with an app that Lime provides. The APIs in Lime need to connect to digital location services provided by Google that use geolocation to show me where the scooters are, and they actually show me how much electricity is left in it, and then it connects to my payment tool so I can rent the scooter. Now, it really doesn't sound like much to a kid who's 20 or 25 years old, but the technology required to combine everything I just talked about, where the ultimate end of it is I use my phone to get the QR code on the scooter. Well, now that same consumer goes to a bank and they want to get money and they walk up to an ATM, a little bit like a scooter. It's a piece of financial technology. One's not, one is. And they say, why on earth can't I just use my phone and a QR code to get done what I need to get done? Why do I need to get my ATM card out or government ID card? Think of banks like Kuwait Finance House, where they've taken their ATMs, they've integrated it with a mobile app, they leverage a QR code, and I can very simply, just like I did with that scooter, take a picture not of the scooter's QR code, but of a QR code on the ATM and go do that transaction. These are the kind of consumer flows that are happening. I'll give a second example. Here in Dubai, some of you may know the police authority has now built these express branches. And in these branches, you go, and there's a device that looks a lot like an ATM. Actually, the platform is founded on an ATM platform. But I can touch a button and talk with a police officer. Maybe I'm opening a case, a criminal complaint. Maybe I'm paying a fine and I'm using the device to do that. Whatever the transaction, the police have now implemented these express branches where I can remotely engage with a police officer to do the transaction. More convenient location, faster in and out, more self-service. Well, why can't I go to an ATM and use a video teller? Why do I have to go to a branch and pull a chit and wait in line and then finally get a chance to talk to a banker? Why can't I do like Audi Bank in Lebanon, where they've basically put in ATMs and that ATM has the ability to connect a video teller? That exact same experience, but applied into banking. And I'll use the third example with another from here in Dubai, which is Aramex, a provider of shipping. And they have deployed lockers all around the UAE where I can use my mobile phone to order something. It will ship to the locker. They put it in the locker and notify me that it's available. And I have a certain amount of time to go to the locker and retrieve. It's called click and collect, if you've heard that term. Click on your phone, get what you want. When it arrives in the locker, I'm notified, I go and collect it. Well, could a bank use that? Are there services a bank could offer that start to integrate this? Maybe what I could do is look at things that happen at a branch, like I need a replacement card, or I need to get my money, I'm a merchant, and I need my till for the day, or I'm doing something like ordering foreign currency. So the flow might look something like this. I pull out my mobile phone, I'm a merchant, I'm in my store. I select and place my order for currency. How many stacks of notes do I need? How many rolls of coin do I need? And I push a button to place my order. And I'm done. I pick the branch I want, I'm done. I've placed my order. I can go back to work. The banker receives the order on a tablet. It tells them you have 3 orders or 5 or 7 for the day. The banker takes those orders and a trolley. They go back into the safe. They get the money in one stop. They bring it back out. They go to the back of the lockers and load the cash. So if I'm merchant A, I place the order for merchant A in locker number 1. Then I hit a button and the merchant is notified your order is ready and it's in locker number 1. Last piece of the step, I think it's what you'd expect. The merchant can now, at their convenience, go to the branch. Maybe the branch is closed. It really doesn't matter. I have a secure area with card access. They go in, they retrieve their order. Maybe they put in a one-time code, or maybe that merchant uses their phone and NFC and they authenticate. The locker opens, they get their order, they close the locker, and they leave. It's such a change in the experience for the merchant. They didn't have to close their store to go get their order. When they arrived, it was ready and they didn't wait, and they were able to leave. And by the way, so good experience. By the way, it was such a difference for the banker. They're much more efficient. They don't have to be there when the merchant arrives, take their order, get the money, bring it back, the merchant counts it, I'm standing there. I remove all of that required choreography. This is not a set of slides or a pipe dream. We have 2 clients now that collectively are worth about $2 trillion in assets who are piloting this exact solution. One of them is using it for their digital branch, where their concern is, how do I serve merchants that do business? And this becomes one of the avenues available to provide that experience. The other client has placed them in a small town where they don't go often. They don't have branch presence. So they go in once a week and stage money into the lockers. And the small merchants throughout the week come and basically, like a vending machine, buy their money for the day. They slide a card, they open the locker, and they get a certain set denomination. These are the kinds of examples of what APIs are opening up. So maybe if I had a core message to you in my 10 minutes, it would be this. Love the discussion on APIs. I do want to remain focused on the problem we're solving. I need to make the bank more efficient, and I need to make an experience that differentiates my brand. And my focus should be on solutions that help me do both. Those will be the winning solutions. That's about as much as I can squeeze into 10 minutes. I'll dismount by saying this. So it was mentioned I'm from NCR Corporation. Probably many of you know us around the branch and our ATM solutions. It's a big business for NCR. Software is a big business for NCR. We're almost a $2 billion software company. And for us, it's about ATM and branch software. It's also about payments software. And then it's about building the platform that fuels your digital and your branch strategies. And we would welcome a dialogue to share more about that with you. That's as deep as my sales pitch goes. That's it. I hope that that's useful. And I appreciate your being the last group in what's been a long day. I'm certainly happy to take any questions, not from my colleagues from NCR, but from anyone in the room, if you had any questions. And I'll hang around after. We'll be at the booth tomorrow. So thank you. I appreciate it.